Hey, Jeff from Become More Compelling here, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. So, I'm excited to talk to you today about a military strategist and a fighter pilot who came up with this mental model for decision making and taking action back in the 60s and the 70s. His name was John Boyd. Went by he had some cool nicknames. Genghis John, 42nd Boyd. In that sort of Top Gun world where you're training with jets to be the best fighter in the world in the skies, one of the things that he was famous for was he was able to, within 40 seconds, he was able to get on someone's 6 o'clock position, which I don't know how many fighter pilots are listening to this, maybe some. That's exactly where you want to be, is in that 6 o'clock position so you can do what you need to do to win the firefight. He came up with something called the OODA loop, the OODA loop. And so how this relates back to communication skills and people skills is if you find yourself, say you're mid-conversation and your brain kind of hits that panic button, you freeze, maybe you're starting to overanalyze or overthink things, and by the time you figure out what to say, the moment's gone, right? That's not what I want for you. And the thing is, the longer that happens and the more often that happens, it kind of puts this groove and a record in your mind where if this keeps happening, it not only can ruin one conversation or you feel like you could have given more, over time you might start to avoid conversations and you might start to avoid speaking up when you know you could speak up. You might miss chances to connect with other people, might miss chances to build friendships or even move your career forward. Like if you're silent in those meetings and you probably shouldn't be. And even worse than that, you might even start thinking, maybe I'm just no good at this. Why bother? And that's not what I want. You're not broken. I promise you that. So let's talk about the OODA loop when it comes to communicating better and seizing on those opportunities. OODA loop stands for observe, orient, decide, act. This mental model is now famous. It's used by business leaders. It's used by athletes. It's all over the place now. And what I like about it is that it puts you into motion because you're not stuck in overthinking. You're not trying to plan every move before it happens. It puts you in the moment, puts you present, and puts you in motion. It shifts your focus from what if, you might be thinking to yourself, what if I screw this up? which is not good, to what's the next small thing I can do right now to take action. And this is a big deal, especially to people that listen to my podcast and follow me, because a lot of them would tell you that they are overthinkers. And overthinking is where most people get stuck. Overthinking feels like, what if I say something dumb, or they probably hate me already, or this is going to go badly. I just know it, or maybe I'm too boring. Whatever it is, that's overthinking. That's internal. It's reactive. It's fear talking. Instead, observing in our OODA loop, that's simple and it's external. It's asking yourself, what's the vibe of the group right now? Who's speaking? What do I know about them? Are people relaxed? Are they serious? Observation keeps you grounded in what's real and what's actually happening. Overthinking keeps you trapped in reality that may or may not exist. You might be making up stories. Spoiler alert on that is we're all making up stories. We might as well make up stories that are helpful and useful to us. So a quick walkthrough of what I call the social OODA loop. So picture yourself somewhere. Observe what's happening right now. You look around. Zero judgment here. We're just trying to notice. We're just noticing what's happening. You're orienting. So where could you jump into the conversation? Can you listen? Can you ask a question? Can you smile and nod? Can you make what I call affirmation noises like or yeah? Can you make noises that put you in the realm of participation? You're not having to actually say anything even, but this is a good way to not only communicate to the other person that you are listening. It's giving them that closed, that feedback loop that's closed that says, hey, I'm listening to you and please continue. But it's also proving to yourself that, hey, I am contributing, even if it's in a small way, because that's how we start to build the momentum that we need to contribute more. Okay, so you've observed, you've oriented, then you decide, you pick one move. Don't try to script out the whole conversation, just the next step. That's it. And then you act. You do it, you speak, you nod, you engaged. And then the loop resets. And you notice again. The loop's going to reset quite a few times in a conversation where you're going to be observing, orienting, deciding, and acting. So let's take this from the theory to practice, which is going to be more useful. So let's say you're in a group and someone's telling a story. So you observe, everyone's laughing. Great, good. You orient, you're close enough to nod, react, to chime in. You decide, okay, I'm going to add a short, playful comment. And so you act. Wow, that's wild. What happened next? Loop resets. Another example. You're at a networking event. You're alone near the snack table. You observe. The guy next to you is checking out the drink options. Orient. You're both in the same space. Low stakes. Maybe you decide to ask a light question. Then you act. That's a tough call. Sparkling water or soda. The guy chuckles and you start a conversation. Great. Okay, let's say you're in a meeting and there's a moment of silence after someone shares an idea. You observe. People are nodding, but no one's quite jumping in yet. You orient. There's space to add, support, or build on the idea. Okay, that's pretty low risk. So you decide, add a short, validating comment, and then you act. Greg, that's a solid point, especially the part about simplifying the process. I like that. Easy. The loop resets. Last example. You're at a friend's house for a game night. A group is chatting, but you don't know most of them. Maybe they're friends from your friend's work or something. You observe. They're talking about travel. Light, personal, upbeat. Again, low stakes. Orient. You've been to a place that they just mentioned. It's a perfect entry point. You decide, okay, I'm going to chime in with a quick related comment. And then you act. Oh, I went there last summer. Did you get a chance to check out that weird goat statue that they have downtown? Now you're in, and the convo has a place to go next. The loop resets. So your action step with this is, it's pretty simple. Just start one conversation. Could be a barista at your local favorite coffee shop. Could be a coworker. Could be somebody at the gym. Anyone. In your head, just run the loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. That's one loop. That's forward momentum. That's forward motion. And that's confidence that's starting to build over time. So you don't need a new personality. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room. You just need a system that keeps you grounded in the moment and moving forward. The OODA loop is a great place to start, but there's also more. So if you want to know more about getting the right skills that you need and the right feedback you need to make sure you're moving in the right direction and you're not spinning your wheels trying to figure it out on your own, don't worry, I got you. I run a program called Social Accelerator, and I think it's the best program in the world for people to improve their communication skills and their people skills without doing the wrong thing and marching in the wrong direction. So I'm going to talk to you about that right now. Do you overthink social situations? Do you avoid speaking up or self-edit when you do? Do you run out of things to say in small talk and conversation? Do you feel uncomfortable in those unstructured moments at work and in your personal life? Do you replay awkward moments after the fact or get derailed when those awkward moments inevitably happen to you? So if you do, it's okay. I've got good news. I want to tell you about a program that I run called Social Accelerator. And so what is it? It is a combination self-paced learning and group coaching course. And so what that means is that you get the right information you need, you get the right lessons that you need, you get the right skills that you need. And then you also get the right feedback that you need from a coach, me. You get to learn and get unstuck in real time by getting that feedback and that advice that you need to move forward faster and become more socially confident and competent. So where most people mess up when it comes to trying to improve their people skills is they fall into a trap that I call the DIY paradox, where they think, oh, I could probably just do it myself. So they end up reading a bunch of articles, watching a bunch of videos, and kind of haphazardly trying things. And the reality is that just really doesn't work that well, because what it leads to is a lack of feedback and a little bit of burnout, and then you end up being right back where you started. I don't want that for you. I want you to get the support that you need so that you can become a more socially confident version of yourself. And so there's a lot packed into this program. It's a high level. There's mindset stuff. There's inner critic stuff. There's conversation skills, starting conversations, developing interests, storytelling. I would love to show you the full details of it. And if you're interested, go to becomemorecompelling.com/accelerator. That's becomemorecompelling.com/accelerator to learn more about the program. There is a lot packed into this program. And I think it is one of the best programs, probably the best program in the world for overthinkers to improve their people skills. I would love to have you in the program.